Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Deep Dive, the brand new podcast that delves into the minds of entrepreneurs, creators, and other inspiring people to uncover their journeys towards finding joy and fulfillment at work and in life. My name is Ali, and in each episode I chat to my guests about the philosophies, strategies, and tools that have helped them along the path to living a life of happiness and meaning. So that was the intro for the new podcast that we're launching. Welcome to Deep Dive, whether you are watching this on the YouTube channel or listening to this on a podcast app. It is lovely to see you. If you don't know me, then hi, my name is Ali. I'm a doctor, YouTuber, and podcaster currently living in London, and this podcast has been a long-term ambition dream of mine to have a sort of podcast where I've basically got an excuse to have a long-form conversation with people who I admire. And the cool thing about a podcast like this is that we can really showcase other people's expertise and other people's journeys. For the last 4 years, since 2017, I've been making videos on YouTube about how to live a healthier, happier, more productive life. And it's been mostly sharing my own personal experience, but also the experience of authors through books and book summaries and all that kind of stuff. If you're not familiar with my main channel, there'll be a link in the video description and in the show notes, all that fun stuff. But the really cool thing about a podcast is that I can now have these conversations with people from all around the world who are thriving in their fields, whether it be entrepreneurialism or creatorism or, I don't know, just other cool kind of stuff. And in particular, I'm very interested in how these cool people find fulfillment in work and in life. And so we've got a lot of interviews with entrepreneurs who made it like really successful by society's traditional definitions of success. And we kind of dive into what their early days were like, how they set up a company like Gymshark or MyProtein, how they got it off the ground, how they kept themselves motivated in the early days when nothing seemed to be working, how they made it fun for themselves along the way, the successes along the way, the failures along the way, what they learned from that journey, and how they're thinking about what they're doing with their lives moving forward. Often the people that we've interviewed have had traditional success, and in a way, like figuring out what to do with your life once you've ticked the boxes of societal success is an interesting problem as well, in addition to the thing of getting something started from the ground up. Hopefully the interviews and conversations will be interesting to listen to and will be inspiring at whatever stage you are of your journey. And certainly they've been inspiring for me so far, the ones that we've done for season 1. And hopefully they'll also have some practical and actionable advice that you can apply to your own life as well. One thing I say in the intro is that we do want to be taking everything that people say with a little sprinkle of salt. I think it's important to keep in mind when you listen to a podcast like this one, which is often based around self-help or advice giving, that, you know, people like me, people like our guests, as successful as the guests are by society's whatever metric society wants to use, as successful as they are, they can only really speak to their own personal experience. And certainly when I speak for my YouTube videos or in this podcast, I'm just sharing my own personal experience. And so it's easy to get into that mindset of like, oh, this is like solid advice and this person knows what they're talking about, therefore I should listen to their advice. I think that's fine, but I think when it comes to life advice, it's more a case of see what works for different people and then take the bits that resonate with you and apply those to your own life. Because as much as we'd like it, like there really is no manual for living a happy and meaningful life. There are certainly, you know, evidence-based things that we can do to help along the way, and that's a lot of the stuff that we're going to be sharing on the podcast, but there's no clear manual. And I think if there was, then life would just be a little bit boring. So that's why I say take everything that you hear on this podcast with a little sprinkle of salt. But beyond that, I hope you find the interviews, the conversations insightful and entertaining and informative and all those other adjectives. If this sounds good, if you'd like to support the podcast, then really everything is free. We might have sponsors further down the line if sponsors want to reach out to us. But basically, if you can just like subscribe to the podcast feed on your podcast app of choice, whether that's iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this, hit the subscribe button. Or if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, do hit the subscribe button as well. We also have a Deep Dive Clips YouTube channel where we take like sound bites and snippets from the conversation and hopefully give them a good title and thumbnail and put that on the Clips channel. Because I know sometimes, you know, an hour, 2, 3 hour long conversation, it's hard to make the time to listen to those sorts of things, even if you do listen to this stuff at 2x speed, like I sometimes like to do. And so you might like to check out the Deep Dive Clips channel as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this or listening to this intro. Hopefully you'll find the interviews good. And I guess we'll see you sometime in the podcast feed. I don't really know how to do a podcast. It's all a bit new, but it's all pretty exciting. So yeah, thanks for watching / listening and see you later. Bye-bye.